So, hi, I'm James Fleming. Now, over the next 30 to 40 minutes, I'm going to give you 3 top tips on how you can grow a more profitable construction and trades business. So, if you're looking to increase your profitability, spend more time working on your business and less time running around trying to do everything yourself, then you're definitely in the right place tonight. Now, these top tips that I'm going to share with you tonight have the potential to give you immediate impact to both you and your business. So I'm going to give you a little bit about me before we move on. I'm the founder and managing director of a multi-award winning leadership and business development company called The Power Within Training and Development. I've been working in business development for just over 25 years. However, I have spent 7 years my trade working on the building site. I used to be a Sparky, so way back when. I then moved into a sales and business development role here in the UK initially, and then I moved over to the Middle East, where I lived in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Malaysia and the US, building and growing and developing businesses. For small businesses, $1 million or £1 million, right up to $100 million, $200 million businesses. So I know my stuff when it comes to building businesses. So the question is, what brings me back to the UK, and more importantly, what brings me into the construction and trade business? Well, here is where it gets interesting, and the reason that I am here tonight. Just over 4 years ago, I moved back to the UK from Dubai and started my own business development and leadership company. Now, part of that business was business coaching, and a few of my clients, they just happened to be in the construction and trades business. We had a few joiner companies. I had a builder company, I had an electrical company, I had a couple of plumbing companies that I used to coach. And every time, so we go through a process when we start working with companies, and we call it a fact-finding process. And what we do is we sit down with the clients, normally for an hour and a half, and we talk about, what's their cash flow like, what's their P&L like, what's their balance sheets like, and what's their strategy for getting out of business. Do they have a strategy? What's their vision for the company? Do they have a vision? And when I used to ask these questions, honestly, you would have thought I was speaking a foreign language. I just would have these blank stares, as if to say, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I knew that I had to do something to kind of change this around. Now, and here's the good part about all of this, and the part that we're not alone. Yep. Most people start their business because they are really good at something. They know they can do it better. Now, I know everybody in this call is probably exactly the same. We started or joined a company or a painting decorating company or a roofing company because we thought we could do it better than everybody else. Or on some occasions, we kind of just fell into it. You maybe got offered a potential job, then that job turned into being self-employed. Self-employed turned into, getting your first kind of job. Now, at the start, and I'm sure you'll all agree on this, at the start, things are pretty straightforward. Yep, because you've created a job for yourself. You go out, you do the work, you get paid, easy peasy. Would you agree? Yes or yes? Absolutely. It's simple. But as you try and grow and develop the business, things start to get a little bit more difficult. No matter whether you're a chippy, you're a roofer, you're a builder, it doesn't matter what trade you're in. It just doesn't cut it anymore. When you start to grow and develop and grow to any kind of size, things start to get difficult. And that's okay. Yeah. What we do is we start to let things get on top of us, right? What we end up trying to do everything ourselves. We do far too many jobs on our own. We're wearing far too many hats. Now, I know everybody's probably thinking, yep, that's me. We hire people without really understanding their roles and responsibilities. And then we keep, with this little things in our head, we keep asking ourselves over and over again, what's wrong with these people? Why can't they just do it right? No one can do things the way I can. Am I right? We start to believe that about our business and about ourselves because we just don't understand why people don't get it. We start to get overwhelmed. We're working sometimes, 6-7 days a week. We're coming in at night. We're trying to work round the clock. We're trying to fit family life in. And then there's the money, cash flow, late nights, weekends. All of that must sound familiar because I know it does to most businesses. So it doesn't really matter which industry you're in. It's a very similar story, and it's even more so in the construction industry. Now, I knew that I had to do something. When I'm working with these other industry, these tradespeople, I knew that I had to do something. I knew that I had to help. So I contacted the Citb. I don't know if any of you are members of Citb, but about 18 months, actually almost 24 months ago now, but 24 months ago, I went to the Citb and I says, look, I'm working with all these trades and there is nothing out there specific to helping these guys and girls build a business. There is no business training. There is no financial training. And by the way, when I say business and finance, going on a degree course or a finance course isn't going to help you because all it's going to do is blow you away. You won't understand it. It'll all become too much and you'll just give up and go back to, going on the tools and running your business. So I had to make sure that whatever I created or whatever I built had to be simple to understand, easy to follow, and you can do it anywhere at any time, i.e. in your own time, at night, where it doesn't impact your business. Because I know what it's like to be a business owner, trying to attend courses during the day or, do things during the day just doesn't cut it. So anyway, 24 months, 18 months in the making, and eventually going back and forward, we created the Business Growth Academy, and the Business Growth Academy was born. Now, we started running this probably just over a year and a bit ago, after we got the approval from the Citb. And it is specifically designed and built to help trades and construction businesses grow and develop their business more profitably and giving you more time. So tonight is just a couple of short snippets, tools and techniques that we teach you during the Business Growth Academy. So now you know a little bit about me and why I created this program. I want to get kicked off with our top 3 tips, if that's okay with you. So hopefully I'm not boring you. You can understand what I'm saying. And I know a lot of you will be shaking your head and going, yep, I know exactly how that feels. Because that's the reason I built the program. Now, as we go through this, there is a chat box. Now, please feel free to drop a message in there, ask a question. I will answer the questions as we go through it. But I'm going to get kicked off now on the very first, if I can get the presentation to go. Okay, so question 1. What are the top 3 biggest challenges that any construction or trade business in the UK, across the world, in fact, faces? So what do you think those top 3 challenges are? Put it in the chat. If you think you know what they are, please feel to put it in the chat. Yep, absolutely. So 1 is time. Yep. One of the biggest challenges that we face is time. Yep. Oh, the next one, absolutely. The next, if I can get this to work again. The next one is money. We never seem to have enough money, cash flow, profitability. etc., etc. And we're going to talk about them in a little bit more detail. And third, but certainly not least, is people. Now, when I say people, I also mean subcontractors. I also mean, the people that we bring into our business. So time, money, and people are our three top challenges. Now, how does these three challenges relate to profitability and having a better business? Now, by the way, as I said before, these are also the same top three challenges in any business. It really doesn't matter what business or what industry I go into work in. It's very, very similar challenges. Yep. So time, not enough hours in the day. Now, I know that you have all said this over and over and over again, and probably still do. You just don't seem to have enough hours in the day. You're running around like headless chickens. You're trying to do quotes. You're trying to grow and build a business. You're trying to hire apprentices. You're trying to send them to college, so on and so forth. Now, on our, we'll call the Business Growth Academy the BGA. On our BGA program, we've got companies who are £150,000 and we've got companies who are over £20 million. So it doesn't matter what size you are. We all face problems. And that's what we're going to talk about. We run around trying to do everything ourselves. Now, I know that we all face this problem because I used to face it myself. And we spend too much time working on the wrong things. Now, in a few minutes, I'm going to be sharing you what those wrong things are. And I'm going to be asking you guys to tell me what you think those wrong things are. Yeah? Money. Poor cash flow management. Now, I will go into this in a bit more detail, but how many of you, put your hand up or put a comment in the chat box, how many of you on the call actually correctly do cash flow analysis? They look at your cash coming in, you look at your cash forecast, and you really understand the money in your business. Yeah. Guys, it's the same everywhere. It is a really difficult subject to understand. But tonight, I will show you some tips and tricks that you can put in your business immediately that will grow and develop your business. And for those that stay at the end of the program, by the way, it's only half an hour, so don't worry. To stay at the end, we're also going to send you a financial sheet that, I valued at £200, but basically it's priceless because it's been built up by the hundreds and hundreds of clients that we have on the program. We've talked about the challenges they face around finance, how could things be made easier, and I went out and I spent a lot of time and a lot of effort developing this program. It's an Excel sheet, and we call it the quick quote system. So it'll help you really understand your money. Yep. Not fully understanding P&L. Now, I don't know how far in you're in business, but a lot of people don't understand what P&L is. It means quite simply profit and loss. How much money you got coming in, how much money is going out. Everything, your cars, your insurance, everything. So after you take everything off, what is left? Yeah, there's fancy words for it and for P&L and balance sheets, but really all we want to know is how much money do I have left at the end of every month? And then margins or markup. Now, the construction industry in the UK is the only industry in the world that uses markup for calculating profit on a job. Now, and the biggest problem here when we talk about markups and margins is you think you've got a lot of money coming in, and then by the time all the bills are paid and the guys are paid and the bills are all paid and the materials are paid and you're expecting all this money to come in at the end of the month, and before you know it, you're looking at a bank, you're going, where's all the cash went? I thought we had all this money coming in, because you've based your quotes or you've based your business around margins or markup and not actually profitability. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. And we're also going to go through people. So poor quality subcontractors, what can you do different? What can you do better? Now, on the Business Growth Academy, we have modules around 3. We actually have more than 3 modules, but the deep dive into this. and we actually have a subcontractor agreement. We show you how to actually hire quality subcontractors where there's risk and reward. We also have the risk of hiring and developing our own staff. So when I say the risk, it's like the added responsibility. If I take on these people, what if I don't have enough work? It's an extra wage. I've got to guarantee their money. Where subcontractors are easy, you just go out, you get them. You don't have any work, you let them go. But in most occasions, most of the subcontractors we're hiring, most, not all, they're either, really bad at best and don't turn up at worst. Yep. We always have this challenge of struggling to get quality subcontractors on a job. And the reason for that, guys, the reason for that is we don't plan. We leave everything to the last minute. We're stretched. There's not enough, let's be honest, there's just not enough quality tradespeople out there. Is it plain truth here? But if you planned accordingly, you could potentially not face that problem. And then we have increased responsibility. Yep. So let's go into time a little bit more deep. So we know that not enough hours in a day. We know that we're running around trying to do everything ourselves, and we're spending far too much time on the wrong things. Now, what if you could learn how to make better use of the time and focus on what drives the highest value in your business? What if you could do that? Yep. How can we spend more time growing a profitable business rather than wasting our time fighting fires, running around after ourselves? Yep. How can we do that? So I don't know if anybody's ever heard of a thing called the Eisenhower's matrix of tasks. It is used to identify where we spend our time and how to prioritize what matters most. Now, I'm going to bring up these 4 boxes, and I want you to look at the boxes. Yep. And I want you to think to yourself and be honest on this part. Where do you spend most of your time? Feel free to stick it in the chat, guys. Where do you spend most of your time? In box 1, in box 2, in box 3, or box 4? Now, box 1 is important and urgent. Yep. We call it the crisis zone. Your objectives in this box is you're working on other people's goals and you're working on work needs. Yep. What you're really doing is you're working in your business, you're not working on it. So that's box 1. And then we have not important but urgent, and we call that the hassle zone. And this is where you're deluding yourself. You're pretending in your own mind that it's a good use of your time. Yep. This is where you should be saying absolutely no. I want to delegate this task. I want to put a system in place, or just avoid it altogether. Yep. In a perfect world, of course. And then we have box number 3, and that's your success zone. That's where you're setting goals for a business. That's where you're planning. That's where you're prioritizing. That's where you're doing your strategic, your goals, your personal development. This is really about growing your business, where you're working on your business. And then lastly, we have the distraction zone. Now, this is social media. This is watching YouTube. This is doing the nonsense stuff that drives absolutely no value to your business. Now, where do you believe you spend most of your time? I already know where you spend most of your time, believe it or not. And I don't know you guys, but I know where most of us spend our time. Unfortunately, it's true across all industries. Yeah, absolutely. So most of us fall into box 1 and box 2. Yep. The majority of our time actually is spent in box number 1. Yep. We spend a lot of time in there. Now, the reason that we spend a lot of time in there is because it's stuff that has to be done. It's stuff that makes the business tick. It's stuff, whether it's running around, for example, so box number 1 is finishing off a project. You're picking up materials for a job. you're running around doing quotes, you're trying to find labour or subbies for the job. It's all urgent stuff, yep, that has to be done. You're in crisis, and that's called firefighting. You will not grow and develop your business while you're in this box, yep. What you will do is you will keep running around and getting in your own bloody way. So you will not grow and develop your business well in this box. Hassle box. So box number 2. This is where you have to delegate things. This is things like emails and follow-ups. Do you really need to do it, or can you subcontract that? Can you get some cheap labour to do that while you're growing and developing your business? And where we need to be spending most of our time, but we won't, even some of the best people in business don't spend enough time in zone number, success zone box 3, but we need to be spending vast majority of our time working on our business. Yep. So we need to be able to identify what is it we're doing every day, all day, and then identify what we can do different. Now, the key here is box number 2. We need to be moving anything that we do in box. And by the way, we will show you this. We have a whole module. We call it Time for Success. And it's all about box number 2 and box number 3, but box number 1 and box number 2. So about how we move from these boxes into growing and developing our business, because we never get into business to be out on the tools all day, then come in at night and do the quotes. We never get into business for that. We want to grow a business and develop a business that we're proud of. Would you agree? Absolutely. So that's one of the biggest challenges. Now, this is where, ideally, we want to be spending our time. We want to be sitting up in the 35% zone. Now, at box 1 and box 2, I would say, realistically, box number 2 should be around about the 10 to 15%, and we move more up into box number 1. So we're sitting about 40% up there. But if you can spend 35% of your time in box number 3, building, growing, and developing it and working on your business, you will be a very successful business owner. And we call that time for success. Next, biggest challenge, money. So we're talking about cash flow, we're talking about forecasting, understanding our P&L, our costs, our assets, our liabilities, and talking about our markups and our margins. Now, I know we've all done this, and I know that a lot of you are still doing it. Yeah, you're putting markup onto your pricing, you're forgetting about your costs, and when that money comes in, it's straight out the door, and you just don't know what's happening, where all this money is going. Now, again, what if you could learn how to make better financial decisions every time you quote for a job, or, and here's a biggie, guys, or when you're discounting on your pricing, have you actually calculated that discount? Now, let's say you put in a 40% margin, yep, sorry, a markup on your price, and you discount 10%. Do you think that 10% comes off the 40% or markup? Absolutely not. If you create a quote or a price based on markup or even margin, yep, and then you discount it by 10%, you're taking that 10% off the bottom line. In some occasions, that can be 20-30% off your markup price, and we will show you how to do that as well. So we will show you exactly what you need to do. So how can you grow? Oh, sorry, guys. How can you grow a more profitable business if you don't know your numbers? So you need to know your numbers if you're ever going to grow a successful business or a profitable one, more to the point. So direct costs and indirect costs. Now I'm going to put a question out to you, so feel free to pop in the chat box. A direct cost is a traceable cost that's specific to the product or service that you provide. So, for example, if you are a painter and decorator, okay, now a variable cost to you would be things like project materials, yep, subcontractor services, so if you're bringing anybody on the board, transportation and fuel, but there's also other costs that are associated, and that's project management. Now, when we say project management, who priced for the job? How long did it take? What additional work needs to be done? If you get people who work in the office, part of their salary has to be taken off this quote. You've got to be calculating all of your costs every day when you're quoting for a job, because if you're not, then you're not correctly identifying your costs, and your quote will never ever be accurate. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. Now, we've also got indirect costs: rent of your facility, rent of the office space, any equipment that you rent, scaffolding, depreciation, any utilities, so your internet, your gas, electricity, anything that's a cost to your business is an indirect cost. And then, of course, we've got any cost finance, cost of our accountants, our lawyers, insurance. Now, I know this sounds like a lot, and a lot of you might be thinking, but that's what I've got an accountant for. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Your accountant only does the numbers after you've made the mistake, after you've lost the money, after you've quoted wrong. An accountant will not fix this for you. This is your responsibility as a business owner. But the beauty is, we've made it easy for you. Yep. I'm going to show you how. Okay. So to really know your numbers, you must identify your cash flow, cash forecast, and cost of doing business. Now, this is something that we've created for everybody who's in the Business Growth Academy. This is a quick, it's a P&L sheet. And once it's built once, you never need to build it again. And that also falls in to the bonus that you're going to get tonight if whoever goes on and signs up. Now, if you look at this sheet, the way that it's built is it calculates your open bank balance. By the way, this, guys, once this is set up, we help you set this up. Once this is set up, all you're doing is putting in your invoices or your quotes that you've won, and you're putting them in here. Yep, your numbers in here. We automatically calculate on this sheet what your profit is that month or the following month, what your costs are, what's coming in, what jobs are outstanding. So I think you can see it. Obviously, I can't show you the full sheet because it's a lot bigger. And then all your fixed costs are all in here. Yep. So your accountant's cost, BT, computers, any cost that you have will come in here, and it will show you. And then it's got total invoices, and this automatically calculates. Even if you've got director's loans, it automatically tells you in a snapshot how healthy your business is. Now, you can have all the sales in the world. You can have jobs coming out your ears, guys. But if you are not profitable, you end up working for nothing. The guys who work for you will make more money than you. Now, this is not a sales course. This is a business growth program. We will teach you how to build a better, more profitable business, where the real value is in the way that you think about yourself, your business, and your customers. Now, imagine a world where you stop competing on price, a world where you pick your ideal clients. Now, if you ask any successful business owner, once you know what you want, why you want it, and the type of clients that you want to work with, competing in price goes out the window. It is a myth that we tell ourselves. It is an absolute myth that we tell ourselves. Price goes out the window, because I think it's Henry Ford that says, if you think you can or think you can't, you're right. So if you think that you're going to be competing in price with people, then you're right. If you think you're not, then you're right. It's entirely up to you how you think about that. Now, we will show you how to stop competing in price. Now, imagine this. Let me grab a pen, right? So I'm going to put a big V in my hand, right? V for value. and I'm going to put a P for price. Yep. Now, this is what happens when we compete in price, right? We give a quote, right? And all you can see is the P. When you give a quote and you give detailed pricing and you're competing in price all the time, every time against everybody else, it's a big P. Now, and values are way back there. Now, what we will teach you is, we will teach you how to do that, where price falls into the background and values all your customers see. Yes, you're not the cheapest. That's okay. Yeah, but you're going to be on time every time. There'll be no smoking on site. There'll be no swearing. You'll clean up. And by the way, if the job's not completed on time every time, guys, we'll offer you a discount. No, and we'll still finish the job. Now, what you're doing is you're actually doing that with price. You're pulling price away and you're adding value. That's how you stop competing on price. Yep. Once you understand who you are, who your ideal client is, and what you stand for, which we help you to build, then and only then do you stop competing on price. Now, here's the bonus. For anybody that goes through into the Business Growth Academy, this is called a quick quotes. Now, I'm not going to get into much detail, but basically what the quick quotes does is, you can see down here, let me put the pen on, highlighter. So see down here in this box, yep, here, this is green. When you're quoting, this is red until you break even. So if you're quoting on a price, let me take that back off. When you're quoting on a price, what you do is you fill in here, so that the green letters are, by the way, all of that previous data from the previous sheet is all built into the back of this, so you don't need to keep filling it in. You fill it in once, and then all you're doing is you're putting in the prices of your job. So you put in all your material costs, so quantity, price, it automatically calculates. Overheads is automatically calculated. Now, this part here, allocated price on the project. So you decide how much of your cost. So let's say you do 10 jobs a month. So you would just put, oh, sorry guys, let's go back. Let's say you do 10 jobs a month. So you would put in a percentage here, 10%, 2 jobs, 20%, 3 jobs, 30%. So you allocate a percentage of your costs against the job. And then you move your markup up and down, and that shows you what your profit margin is. Yeah, and that will start changing this number here. So it gives you an instantaneous view of when you're starting to make money on that job before you send the quote. Now, in addition to this, we also show you how to build a proper, we don't call it quotes, we call it the plan. So how do you build a plan for each job that you're going to give a price on? Now, this alone, guys, is worth an absolute fortune. Like I said, it took us, hundreds and hundreds of hours to get this right, so that we constantly add value. Okay, last but certainly not least, and I'm kind of running over time, we're talking about people. So poor quality subcontractors and agency workers, the risk of hiring. Now, what if you could maximize the risk and minimize the risk and maximize the output of your staff? Now, hiring is one of the most important people function that you have, and most of us aren't very good at it. We need to learn to focus more time on hiring better people for a higher ROI. Would you agree? Absolutely. So how do we do that? We need to answer 3 key questions. We need to decide, what role will they be doing? Now, this might sound, oh, well, I'm hiring a painter, I need a chippy. But what kind of, who are they? What are the responsibilities? Is it a key role? Is it just a labouring role? We need really to think about this so that we can properly plan and prepare. Yeah. What skills do they need? I know it sounds simple, but can they actually do it? Because there's a massive difference between a joiner and a joiner, between a painter and decorator and a painter and decorator. There can be massive differences, and we do not want to take the risk of losing a good client because we haven't taken the time to really understand who we need, when we need them, and when should we start looking at hiring them or bringing them on board. And in addition to that, who in here has a subcontractor agreement that they make every single subby sign before they start the job? Yeah, normally we don't have any hands up here. We don't have any comments because most people don't do it. Now, what you're basically saying is you're inviting someone you generally don't know onto one of your jobs or onto one of your clients who could absolutely leave a disaster behind them. You're the one that has to go and fix it and fill it. So what we also do in the Business Growth Academy is we teach you how to build that we actually give you one, a subcontractor agreement. What value does it bring to business? How that person will fulfill their roles. So just to summarize the 3 challenges up, guys. So spend more time identifying your box 3 activities. That's your high payoff activities, and less time fighting fires running around. Learn how to make better financial decisions every time you quote for a job or discount your pricing. Guys, you need to know your numbers, and you need to focus more time on hiring the right people for a higher return on your investment, including subcontractors. Now, imagine if you had a grip on all of these 3 key business drivers. What impact do you think this would have in your business, on your time, on the money coming into your business, and the people that you bring in? It's an easy answer. You will grow and develop a successful and more profitable business. Plain and simple, easy peasy. That's exactly how we do it. Yep. Now, you've heard me talking about the Business Growth Academy, so this is kind of wrapping up near the end. So what is the Business Growth Academy? Yep. And how can it help you? So it consists of 6 modules. They are run over a 6-month period. They run Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so you can choose which evening you go on once a month. They run from 5:30 till 7:30 once per month. So 2 to 2.5 hours maximum a month. Now you get access to your own private learning portal where everything you've been taught that evening is on the portal. You sign in, all your homework, all your workbooks are all done digitally, so you don't need to print anything off. We do that over 6 months. Then at the end of the 6 months, we sit one-on-one for 2 to 3 hours, me and each Business Academy client, and we build your personal business development plan based on everything you've learned for the next 12 to 18 months. So start with the end in mind. It's all about business foundations, your purpose, vision, and values. Then module 2 is called self-leadership. It's called the entrepreneurial mindset. It's manage, motivate, inspire yourself using self-awareness, self-efficacy, sorry for the big word, and self-confidence. Self-efficacy is just believing in yourself. You recognize the need to develop. Then we talk about time for success, which is one of the modules around time. This is all about identifying your high payoff activities, the actions in your business that's going to drive real results. Then we have business finance. That's the money one. Guys, this is an unbelievable module. It is a game changer in your business once you understand it. And by the way, I've built this where I can teach a 12-year-old. So do not think, oh, this is going to be too in-depth. What if I don't know it? Most people in these groups are exactly the same position as you. Then we talk about high-performance business. So how do you motivate your team? How do you develop your team? How do you develop your business and make it grow? And then last but certainly not least, it's goal setting and defining. This is where we start to build and develop your goals specific to your business. Now, in addition to all of this, you also get access to our social media platforms, our business growth groups. We have every month, we have a Meet the Expert. So for an hour every month, we have a branding company come on. By the way, it's not sales. It's actually a teaching class. So we're teaching you about branding. We teach you about the Citb. We teach you about the money you can get out of Citb that you guys don't know about. We teach you about business finance. We teach you about investment. property development. We have industry professionals every month come on for an hour. Normally it's the second Tuesday of every month from 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock, and we do that, and they're all recorded. You get lifetime access. You also get lifetime access to this now. And here's the kicker. So how can we teach you all of these skills and so much more without it costing you a single penny? It doesn't cost a penny. We help businesses just like yours every single day. It is why I built the Business Growth Academy. And the best part, we don't ever try to upsell you a single thing. Nothing, nada, not ever. You are never upsold in this program. Because guys, my goal is simple. I want to inspire, motivate and develop business owners just like yours to think bigger, be better and achieve more out of your business and achieve more than you ever thought was even possible. That's what we're all about, and that's why we built this business. So let me ask you a question. The biggest thing that we need to overcome when building a successful business is what? Put a comment in the comment what is the biggest thing that you need to overcome to build a successful business? Absolutely. Ourselves. Get out of our own bloody way. We think we know better. We think we know what we're doing. Oh, I've built a business. Oh, well, I've got this or I've got that. But if you're absolutely honest with yourself, and I mean absolutely honest with yourself, think about the amount of things you could do different or you could do better every single day, and then the compound effect of that. And in addition to that, over 100 business owners all in the same position, helping you, sharing business, sharing ideas. We've had construction companies in our groups actually come together and build property developments together. I mean, it is just absolutely game changing. And the thing is, guys, no one has ever taught us how to build a profitable business or given us the unique skills to take it and get out of our own way. Now, would you not agree that we all want more success? Yes or yes? Absolutely yes. We all want more money. Yes or yes? Yes. Now, here's the easy part. It's fully funded by the Citb Skills and Training Fund. For you to be eligible for this, you only have to have one or more employee. You need to be a member of the Construction Industry Training Board. But if you're not, we can apply on your behalf. How do we do that? You're going to click on links. I'm going to send you all a link on the chat box. You click on the link, complete the application form. You will also be sent out an email tonight or tomorrow and a text message with the link that sends you directly to the website to apply now. Now, you'll see at the bottom there, please note, there is no direct cost to you or your business. If the Citb don't pay you, you don't pay us. The course is free. That's our commitment to you. Now, I think we're at 136 people on this business course, with 136 people all fully paying. That's the value we add. And by the way, guys, the money goes to you. So the Citb pay you. I then invoice you once the Citb let me know when they've released the funds. I then invoice you. You pay me. Job done. Now, generally by then, you're normally in month 2 of the program. So you see the value. So hence the reason we never have anybody not pay. Yeah. Now, we want to be moving towards accountability, responsibility and ownership. We need to move. You need to move away from excuses, denial and blame. Yeah, that little voice talking inside, or if those that say, oh, I don't have a wee voice, you need to get away from that, guys, because you can have success or you can have excuses, but you cannot have both. Yeah, you cannot have both. Now, this is a testimony I wanted to drop in, and it's exactly what I've been saying going along. Now, this guy, Ian McGill, runs a very successful construction company and property business here up in Scotland. I've got hundreds of these testimonials, by the way. You just need to go to my website or LinkedIn and have a read. This course was exactly what we needed. While I have been a director of a construction business for over 10 years, it was only when I branched out into other areas that I realised I didn't have the tools required to grow and expand. It was clear I couldn't manage all of the parts alone. The BGA is all about putting systems and processes in place to not only allow a business to function on its own, but to grow and develop accordingly. Now, combine this with a huge focus on mindset, self-leadership, goal setting, and financial education. Another major factor in this course was being introduced to a network of like-minded business owners. Business Academy has been a game changer, and I would highly recommend it. Now, guys, we are at the end of the program. You will get an email, I think tonight or tomorrow. I will also send you a text message with the links to the Business Growth Academy. It doesn't cost you any money. It is fully funded. There is no cost. It is a game changer. The reason that I'm doing webinars is I think when they see the fully funded, they automatically think there's got to be a catch. There's got to be something not right. There is no catch. If any of you are unsure, send me a message. I will send you a list of all the people who are either been on the course or are currently on the course. Talk to them. Ask them what they think. You will be amazed at what they have to say. So listen, guys, have a fantastic evening. Have a wonderful week that's left. And like I said, I will be reaching out to you all in the next day or so with the details for the Business Growth Academy. And I will see you all later. Thank you.